and send code. Okay, we're just going to wait for the verification code that was sent here. Okay, then we're going to try if it's now working. Okay, verification can be empty. Let's try invalid code. Okay, now it's working. Okay, let's try again. Okay. Okay, now we're going to use the access code. Alright. Hey, this is Gab. Welcome back to my channel and welcome aboard if you're new here. I am creating tutorials in Scratch so that you can follow along. Also, the source code is in the description below. What we're going to do today is we're going to create a random code or random generative code to be sent into the user's email. Alright, without further ado, let's do it. Okay, first we need to do the backend first, and the backend will be our root folder. And also we have a two folder, backend and frontend folder. So first we're going to get our package.json file. So npm init -y. You are using -y to ignore all the questions. Okay, here's our package.json files. Then after that we're going to create a folder named backend. Then we're going to install some dependencies in the root folder, since root folder is our backend. So npm for our install. First we need to install Express, then course, then .env, okay. Then after that we have to go to our package JSON and add type module. What this does is, instead of using require, we're going to use import like our front end. You're going to see it later. Then after that we're going to install nodemon, npm I nodemon. So nodemon does is it will automatically refresh our backend server every time we save. So we're going to change this to start, then node server.js. We're going to create this later. Then after that we're going to create a server, then nodemon, then backend server.js. Okay, then after that we're going to create the server.js on the backend folder. So server.js. Then in here we're going to import this is what I did earlier. Instead of using require, we're going to use import. We're going to import express from express. Then we're going to put this on a variable named app. So const app equals express. Okay. Then after that we're going to add a port. Cons port. We're going to use port 5000. Okay, then we need to listen to this port, so we need to use the app that listen. So we're going to use the port. Then console.log, we're going to use the backticks. Okay, then server is listening to, we're going to add the server endpoints, http localhost, localhost, then we're going to use the variable port. Okay, so after that, okay, then after this, we're going to return again to package JSON. I forgot to add the backend. Okay, after that, we're going to import course. Import when to import course from course, and we're going to use this app that use course. Then we can add some element on this course, origin, the origin of the front end, http localhost 3000. Then the methods, get wait a minute, get put to update, put is to update, and then post, then delete. Then operation success status is 200. Then after that, we can also add credentials. Credentials set to true. Okay, we imported the course express. Then now we are going to try if we can listen to this part. So npm run, then what we put here, the server, going to try the server using the npm. Okay, as you can see, we can now listen to the support that we used. Then we can do this, but we can also put it in the .env, because that's what usually need to be done. So we're going to create a new file, .env. Then we're going to put a variable name port equals to 5000. So this value is what we're going to be listen with. Then we're going to import the .env from .env. Then we're going to need to import the config.env.config in order to use this .env file. Then after that, we can now change this to process.env, and then the name of the variable that contains the port number, which is port. So this is the variable name, port. Then we can also do this, if the port is not available on the env, just use this. Okay, as you see, okay, I will now save the file. As you can see, it still can be listened. If I be changing this to 7, then I'm going to save the file. As you can see, it being changed to 7,000, but I'll be returning it to 5,000. Alright, after all of this, I think it's time to create our routes. Okay, it's time to create our routes. Oh no, but first we're going to try if we can, if the server is ready. So if we can use the endpoints for the routes in Postman. Okay, app.get, then the what do you call it? The base URL. Okay, then going to req, then res.send. Servers is ready. Service is ready. Okay, then we're going to use our Postman. Okay, this is our Postman. Wait, I'm just going to delete this first so that I can show it to you. Then first, we need to create a collection. Sorry. We need to create an environment first. Okay, then I'm going to rename this the verification. Then the variable name is base URL, but you can choose any other name that you want. And initial value is the localhost server of the backend. So HTTP localhost 5000. Okay, then I'm going to copy this and we're going to save this one. Alright, after this we're going to create collection and we're going to name this verification also request. Okay, verification request. And then after that we're going to our collection. We're going to delete this first. Then I will add a new request, which is a get request. We're going to get this request on our server.js. This one. So since this is in the root URL, so we're just going to use the base URL. Okay. So first we need to go on our Postman and set the environment to the environment that we created, which is the verification. And after that we're going to use that base URL and let's try. See, server is ready. This means that we can now use routes and the backend is ready. Okay. Okay, in order for us to start, we need to create new folder in the backend folder. We're going to name these routes. Then after that, we're going to create new file. I'm going to name it user routes. And this, you can name it different than mine, but this is usually what we call it. Okay, then after that, we're going to use a router in the Express. So cons router was to Express equals to express that router. Okay, then we need to export this, export router default. Hey, sorry, export default router. My apology. Then we're going to we need to import the user routes also on the server. So import user routes. I don't know why it's not showing from the folder routes. I forgot to tell you that if we use type module, we need also to include the extension file, which is javascript.js. Okay. And then after that, we're going to create a new folder inside the backend. We're going to name it controller, and we're going to create a new file. We're going to name the new file user controllers. Sorry. .js. Okay, we have express is not defined. Oh, my apology, I forgot to include the express here, so we're going to import express from express. Okay, that should be fixing the problem. Then after that, going to go here, the user controllers files. We're going to use async handler. It's an npm library that automatically handles the try catch request. Okay, we're going to have a new PowerShell. Then we need to install it at the root of the project, since the root of the project is our backend files. So npm I, which install, then express async handler. Okay, we're just going to wait for it. So okay, so after that we'll need to import async handler. I'm just going to name it async handler. Async handler from express async handler. Okay. Then we're going to create now a function. So const. We're just going to do the verification, verify. Then we're going to need to add the async handler. Since and after that we're going to use the async method, because we're going to use a wait. Then we need the request, then rest, then arrow function. Okay, well, first we need to try this first. So rest that status 200. So the JSON message MSG for message, and then I will say verification, verify controller success. Okay, now we need to export this, export verify. Then we're going to import that file here. So import verify. Then we're going to connect that controller to this route. So router that going to use now post. Then the endpoint is verify. Then we're going to add here to verify. Okay, then let's go back here the server.js. In here, since we already imported the user.routes, we're going to use it now. So app.use So app that we need to add the default endpoints for our API. So we need to add the API, then users. We need to add here first API users. Then after that, we need to add the user routes here. Okay, every time we call this user routes, their default endpoint has this API users. This is good since we can use like API items, then create another routes for the items. But for now, we're going to just use the user. Okay. After that, I think it's all good now. We're just going to try it in the Postman. Okay, we'll be now returning to our Postman. And then we're going to create a new request. I'm going to rename this verify. I forget to rename this. I'm going to rename this a try. So let's just try. We're just try it. Okay, here at the Postman and our new request, we need to change the method to post, then use the base URL, then the default API, then users, then what we included on the route endpoint is verify. Okay, let's try this now. Okay, we have an error. Okay, let me see. Okay, I found the error. The error is on this line. I told you before that we need the extension file, and I forget to put it. My apology. Okay, we're going to put now the extension file, and we're going to try it again. Okay, here in our Postman, we're going to try to send it again as a post method and with our endpoints. Okay, as you can see, verify controller success. We receive the response from our controller. Okay, now since the controller and route is now working, we can now proceed at making the controller functions. Okay, I think for now we're just going to do the front end first. Okay, so we need to go to our terminal, and first we need to make sure to create a folder in the root project. So front end, then in the terminal we need to go to the front end folder, then we need to install npm. Wait, let me check we're going to use Vite, React Vite, since using Vite is nice since it makes the flow fast. Okay, so npm create Vite at latest. Remember, we need to be on the front end folder, not in the root folder. Then we're just going to use the period, so into the root directory or in the front end folder, and we're going to choose React JavaScript, then npm I to install all the dependencies needed. Okay, this might take a while, so we're just going to wait. Okay, it looks like it's done. Uh, yes, we have all the dependencies needed. So we can run this first so we can see it. So npm run dev. Am I correct? Uh, yes, dev. So I'm just going to fix my okay, we have successfully installed React with, as you can see, this is the UI. Then we're going to return to our code to install some dependencies. So in the front end, we need to I'm going to use Bootstrap, npm I Bootstrap, then React Bootstrap, if I'm correct. If you're going to use Bootstrap, also make sure that it is in your front end folder. Okay, then after that, we're just going to close this for a while. We're going to open the src folder and we're going to clean some files here. We don't need these assets. CSS, we don't need that. Index.css, we're just going to leave it here for a while. Okay, then I'm going to remove the in the app.csx, we're going to delete all these contents. We don't need yet this use state. I'm going to remove it first. Okay, then we're going to add h2 app. Okay, now I'm going to run again, npm run dev. Okay, I think it's now clean and we're going to start coding. First, we want to run both backend and front end at the root folder using concurrently. Okay, now we're going to the package.json backend and we're going to add on the client side. So client npm prefix front end run dev, since that's what it runs, the front end. Then after that, we're going to install the dependencies concurrently. So we're going to open a new terminal. I'm going to use PowerShell. Then on the root folder in our backend folder, no, not the backend folder, in the root folder of our project, which where is our backend files, we're going to install the concurrently. So what this does is we can run both backend front end at the same time in using the root folder. Okay, I think it's successfully installed. Then after that, we're going to create another script. So we're going to name this dev, because we're going to run both the client and the server. Then what we're going to do is concurrently, then npm run server, then then npm run client. Alright, then we're going to stop both server first. Yes. Okay, I will now going to run the npm run dev that should run both backend and front end. Okay, so npm run dev. Okay, all right. Okay, I can see the server is running, but the front end it's not running. Let me check this first. Okay, I see the issue. I forgot to add another quotation here. Okay, we're going to try it again. So npm run dev, this now run front end and back end. Okay, as you can see, we can now run the front end and our back end also running at the same time. Okay, good. Then after that, we're going to start our front end. So I'm going to close this first. I'm going to delete all the files here in the CSS. Then we're going to the app. Then we're going to open a new terminal. We need to install the React Router DOM. React Router DOM is where we can navigate all of our pages or components. So npm I React Router DOM. Then after that, we're going to set up the React Router. Sorry. Then after that, we're going to set up our React Router DOM. We need to go to our main.jsx. Okay, in here we need to import some React router DOM. So we need the create browser router and the router provider. So React router DOM. So import. We need the create browser router, then the router provider. Forward to put the gamma. Okay, then after that, we're going to create the router cons router. Then we're going to use the create browser router. Then here, we're going to add. Oh wait, let me fix this for. Then inside our object array, where we need to add all the path that we want to navigate in our projects. So we need to add the main path. So path. So our main path is the index 1. So yeah, let's make it this index is equals true. Then we need to add the element. The element is the app.jsx. So this is our main directory. Every time we open our project or run the server, this path will directly open. Then the below paths will be the children. So this will be the parent, and the below path will be now the children. Okay, we can add new path. For home, we're going to create this later. Home. Okay, that's it for now. Then we need to use we're going to use the router provider. So the router is a router. Okay, so React router DOM is now set up. Then we're going to create our register component. Then we're going to create a component folder. Then inside of the component, we're going to create a new file. I'm going to rename this a register.jsx. Then our RFC for shortcut for the arrow function. Alright. Then this component, we're going to import it here at the app component. So import register. Then I'm going to put this here. So register. Alright. Then after that, we're going to the register component. We're going to close these files for a while. Then here in our register, we're going to import some bootstrap. Import we need the container from bootstrap. So we're going to use the container. Then after that, we're going to add a section and add the class name of deflex. Then align items center. Then justify content center. Then inside of our section, we're going to add form from the React Bootstrap. Then inside of our form, we're going to add form.group. Then form control. Then type, just wait a minute. We need to add a form.control. Okay, going to fix it for a while. Then type is text. I'm going to add a class name my-2. Then I'm going to add label. Form label. We're going to add the form label. Oh, but first we need to import the bootstrap in the main.jsx. So here, import. So import we need to import from bootstrap, then this, then css, then we need to look for bootstrap that mean that css, then import. We also need the javascript mean, so bootstrap this js, then bootstrap mandel.js. Alright, and after that we're going to return here. Then let's check our main output. Okay, here's our input field that we created, that were created. Then let's start adding the form label. oh sorry, form that label. Then we're going to, so this is the email label. Then we're going to add another form group for our button. So we're going to replace this button. So we need to add type submit here, then send code. Alright, okay, let's check our output. Okay, so this is what we have so far. And after that, we need to add view height 100. So that our form will be in the center. Then we're going to change MB2 so that the label will don't have spaces below. Okay, I think this is good for now. Then we're going to set up their values. So we're going to import useState, import useState from React. Then we're going to create a variable. So input data, then set input data, and useState. Then this is how we implement. So this is where we install the values of the form. So go here to, let's add on change. Then after that, we're going to create the arrow function here with a parameter of event. Then we're going to use the set input data to pass the value. Then we need to use the spread operator to get the to get all the values of the input data. Input data. Then after that, we're going to add the default state. So FE email equals to null. Oh, we're going to put it check. Okay. Then put the comma here, FE email. Then we use the event that I get that value. Okay, let's see if it's not working. So console.log the input data. Then let's go back to our output. So inspect and console. Okay, so this is our default value for the email. So we're going to add some value. Okay, as we can see, it's now working. We're going back to the code. Then we can use this value or that value to pass it on our backend server. Okay, so I think this is good for now in the front end. We're going to return to our backend. Just going to close this for now. Alright, so we need to go to our user controllers. Then first we need to verify if the email input has a value. So we need to get the value first. So we need to use this structure method. So fe email. We need to request that from the body. Okay, so if fe email is false, wait. So if fe email is faulty, then we're going to show an error. So we're going to show new error. Email can't be empty. Okay, we're going to use double quotes. But first we need to use the app that use Express.json, so that all the request data coming from the front end will be turned into JSON once it's been passed into the back end. Okay, then after this we're going to try this on our Postman. So okay, I think it is now working. So the error is email can't be empty. Okay, well, so we're going to throw a new error if it's empty. Then we need to go to our register. Then we need to add on submit here that handles submit, that handles data, sorry. Then after that we're going to create that function. So handle data equals handles data. Then we need a event handler, so we're going to change it to arrow function, and we're going to pass in the event handler. We're going to use it here also. So that prevent default. So every time we click the submit button, it will prevent the default state or the default event. So let's try. Okay, the default state or the default submission is now been prevented. Okay, then after that we're going to try catch. Then we're going to use cons actions, cons res actions. Now we're going to import actions from actions. Okay, but first we need to install the dependencies of the actions. Go to the terminal. So npm I actions. In the back end and the front end. So cd front end. So npm I actions also. Okay, then after that, going to save, then actions, then uh, actions that post, then the endpoint, API users, then verify, then we need to pass the input data, then we're just going to console.log it, also the error console.log. Okay, then after that we're going to try it now. So send code, see. Okay, we get an error, handles not found. Okay, let's check our code again. Let's check our routes. So router fire routes. Okay, I forgot to use an async and await. Okay. Or not found. Then we're going to throw an error. So res.status 400.json and then error, email can't be empty. But first, in order for this to run, we need to add some code into the app.jsx. So we need to import the actions. So actions that defaults base URL is equals to the backend server URL. So HTTP localhost, we use 5000, right? Then we also need actions that defaults, that credentials with credentials is equals to true. Okay, so after we done that, there are also some minor changes in the server. So instead, I put here before 3000, but the default URL for the front end is 5137. My apology. Okay, then after you done that, we're going to try the output now. Okay, so if the field is empty, it should be throwing an error. Okay, so we have has been blocked. 5173 has been blocked. Okay, let's check that a little bit. So up server So 5173. So sorry, it's 5173. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so as you can see, we've got an error since it's an empty. It's a bad request. That's what we put in our code 400. Then in the response, we receive the error email can't be empty. Alright. Okay, so then we need to display the error. So let's go back to our code. Then let's go to register.jsx. Then after that, we're going to create a state again. So error, then set error equals to use state. Then the default state is null. Alright, so we're going to create a variable of errors equals the error that response that data that error. So this path is on the console log. If you still remember, it's in the console log. So if you click this, okay, wait. It's in the console log of the error. I erase it. Sorry. Okay, here. So this is the error. This is the error. Then we go to the response. Then we'll go to the data. Then to the error. Okay. Then after that, we store the errors. We store that error to the set error. Then after we store the error to the error, we're going to display it here below the form group. So here, if the errors error. So if the error is true, then display the error. Okay, let's try it. So if we click send code, it should display the error. Okay, that's good. Then back in coding, going to going to put it in a span, then bracket, then we can add a class name, so text danger, so it has a little bit of styling. Okay, let's see it again. Okay, that's since it is not empty, the error is not showing. So if it's empty, okay, it's not showing. Okay, then after that, after the email input field has been verified, we're going to send the code. So we need to go here, the user controllers at the back end. Then we're going to create another folder at the back end. At the back end, I'm going to name it utils for utilities. We're going to create a file named email utils. Okay, then after that, we're going to create a function that send send code send code. Actually, we're going to rename this to send code to user email for more specific. Then async. Then we're going to need some of the we're going to add a parameter. So user first name. So no, actually we're going to use the user email. User email. Okay. Then after that, we're going to install the npm. Inside the front end, we're going to install the package node mailer, then mailgen. Mailgen, the ones who create the body of the email. Okay, after that, then after we're going to use the return new promise. Then we have the resolve, then reject. Okay, after that we need to create a variable let config. This is the config of our email. Then we have service. I'm going to use Gmail services. It's up to you if what you want services that you want to use. Then we need the authentication, then user, then password, or actually we can use pass. Okay, after that we can use the app password in our Gmail, then store that in our env file. So here I'm going to user, then the email that we're going to use, then the pass for the password. Okay, first we're going to get the user and the password, then I'm going to go in my password or email first here, then going to manage your Google account. Then after that, go here, search up password. Okay, then type the password first. Then we need to put the app name, verification. So copy this will be the password that we're going to use, then done. Okay, it has been created. So let's go back to our code. So the password is this, or actually this, then the user email will be my email. So this is my dummy email, and this is the password that we get from the app password. Okay, then let's go back to the email details, and we're going to apply that. So process.env user, then process.env.pass. Okay, from here to here. Okay, all right. After that, we're going to create a transporter. You can read the documentation on their website, NodeMailer. You just need to search NodeMailer in the Google, and you can read about the NodeMailer documentation there. Then NodeMailer, we need to import the NodeMailer from NodeMailer. Then we're going also to import mailgen from mailgen. Well, I'm not quite sure why it's not showing. It's supposed to be showing. Oh, my mistake. I installed it on the front end. We need to install it on the back end. Sorry. So okay, this must be showing now. Okay, then that create transport, then we're going to pass the config. Then after that, we're going to create the mailgen. Let mailgen generator to a new mailgen so we can add theme here. I'm just going to use default. Then we can add product, and the product name is maybe I'm just going for verification. Then we can also add link. So verification. This is just a sample. Okay. Then after that, we need to generate the code from generate code. Okay, then we're going to create this function first. So we have to go to the utils folder, the new file, generate code.js. Here we're going to use an arrow function, generate code, then going to pass a parameter of length, the length of the code, then I'm just going to copy paste the char set that we need to use. You can also copy paste this on the source code below. Then we're going to set the initial value of code to null. Then we're going to create a loop. So for let I is equal 0, then if I is greater than the length, then increment it by 1. So sorry, if the I is less than, it's not greater than, sorry, it's less than I, then const random index equals to, we're going to use the math.floor and math.random, math.random times the char set of the length. Then code plus equals the char set that chart at the random index. Then we're going to return the code. Okay, we're going to export this, export default generate code. Okay, we're going to use this. So I'm going to import generate code. Then we're going to pass 6 length for that code. Then after that, we're going to create the message. So let message equals so from, this is the user email that we passed before. Sorry, so from verification, or we can just use the user email, but for me I'm going to use this verification. Then to the user email. Okay, then we can also add subject to access code. Then HTML. Our HTML will be the message that we created. the mail that we are going to create. Then at the top, we're going to create let our response equals the body we can in the body we can add name. I'm just going to put here guest. Then we can add intro. So we can use backticks here. So the intro will be code, then the code, then we can add an outro. I'm just going to type here please enter this code to the verification field. Okay, then after that we're going to create now the mail. So mail equals mail generator that generate response. Okay, then we're going to transporter that send mail to message that then we're going to add an arrow function console.log the random code then going to resolve this code. So it will going to return this code in the user controllers. Then after all of this, after we generate the code, then we create the function that send the code to the user email. We're going to import this to user controller. So import, we're going to bracket since it is not the default. So we're going to send wait, we're going to just to copy this, then paste it here. So from the utils, then email utils.js. Okay, we have an error. Cannot find module. Oh, I forgot to export it. So export, send. Okay, then we're going to save, export the JS. code. Alright, in here I forgot to put the GS. Okay, so after we input the function send code to user email, then going to create a variable uh, so I'm going to create a variable name code, then we're going to use await. We're going to use this send code function. Okay, let's try. So console.log code. Okay, let's try the output. So send code. So when we're going to use the tempmail.org for in order for us to use a temporary email that we can send the code. It's temp-mail.org. And then we need to copy this, and you're going to paste it here, then send code. Okay, we've got an error. So let's check our network, then verify bad request. So we have a bad request. Let us check it now. Okay, so I forgot to pass the user's email. And the issue still persists. What else? So email. Mail generator is not defined. So mail generator is, so sorry, this we use this mail gen, not mail generator. So let's try it again. Refresh. We're going to use this email. So send code. So let's check here. Yes, we actually get the code. Then let's open the inbox. Okay, this is the code, but I think we got the wrong code. Function char at native code. Okay, let's check the generate email function. Okay, generate code. Okay, I see the error now. So this must be in here. My keyboard is new. That's why I'm hard to use it. Okay, let's try it again. So I'm going to use the same email again. Just going to copy this, then paste it here, send code. Okay, let's check, refresh. Okay, we actually get the second code. Alright, so we send the random generated verification code to the user's email successfully. Okay, let's return to our code. Transition. Alright, so we're going to return here user's controller. Then if the code is successful, then we're going to return res.status 200, then that JSON MSG for message going to use the backticks. So code sent successfully, and we're going to use the code. Okay, then after this we're going to store this code to the session. Okay, but first we need to install the library. So npm I express-session in the root folder. Okay. Okay, after that we're going to set it up in the server. Then first we need to import it. So import session from the express.session. Then after that we're going to configure the session. So app.use, so session, then here we can add secret, so you're just going to put it 1 2 3. Then we can also have receive for false, then save lies to false, so it will not be saved, and we have a secret to access it. Okay, then after that, after we use the session, we go back to our controller. Then we're going to save the code to the session. So we request that session. We're going to put a name, verification code equals to the code. Alright, we are done to the verify function. First we're going to create a new function. This function will verify the code that inputted by the user. So verify code. So we're going to use async-handler, then async, then request, then rest. Okay, then we're going to export this. Then here in the user routes, we're going to create a new router that posts. Then code. I'm going to paste this here. Then also in the import. Well, actually, we're going to change it. Actually, we're going to change this to router. Then we're going to change this to a check instead. Then let's change this, the name of the function to check data, then send code for more specific. Okay, then also here verify, and here. Okay, then after that, let's go back here in the register.jsx. Then if this response is true, then we're going to create a new state. So cons is code sent, then set is code sent, and use state. So we're going to put the default initial state to null. Then after that, so if the cons res is true, we can remove that now. Then set is code sent true. So if this is true, then we're going to change this section, or maybe this form, to is code sent is true. Then if it is true, I'm going to paste this. So if code sent is not true, then this will be showing. Then if it's true, the code sent is true, then another form will be showed. So we're going to change this to handle code. So we're going to create that. So concept handle code was async, then use this the same as the top, then e that revolt default. Okay, so it will handle this one. Then we're going to change this to verifyCode. Then we're going to add a placeholder. Code was sent to your email. Then we're going to add a new input data. So fe verification code will be set to null or empty. So we're going to use this to change this one. Okay, submit. We're going to change this to submit. Okay, it looks good. So let's try. Okay, let's go to our output. Okay, we're going to send another code to this email. So if I click send code, this form must be changed. So send code. So we get an error. Okay, let's check. Oh, okay, so the Axios call, we actually change this to check, right? Okay. Okay, let's try it again. Refresh to log, then copy this email, then paste it here. And let's, okay, it's actually the form actually change. And let's see if the code was been sent. Okay, here's the code. I'm just going to use this code to verify if the user input verification code is the same as the code that we sent to the users. Okay. First, we need to go to our user controller. Then after that, we need to get the stored code. Okay, so here's the logic. So if the every verification code which comes from the user is equal to third code, then send the response status code of 200 and send the message Alright, after this, we need to go to our register components to set up our actions. So in here, we're going to create a variable named res. Then we're going to use the actions.post. Then here we're going to put the endpoint of our routes. So API users. So the API routes endpoint is code. So we're going to put this. Then we're going to pass the input data. Then after that, we're going to console that log the error for now. Okay, we're going to use await. Alright. Then after that, we're going to use the use navigation. The purpose of that is if this was true, then it will navigate to that specific location. Okay, let's import it. So import use navigate. Then we're going to store it in the variable, so const navigate equals use navigate. Then if this is true and there was no error, we'll navigate to the home page. The home page is the one we set up in React Router DOM in the main JSX. Okay, then after that, we are also going to set the error, just like before, errors. We're just going to copy this one, then paste it here. Alright, it's looks good. Okay, we're going to try it now. Let's go to our output. Then we're going to use the temporary email that we get from before. Okay, as you can see, the form has been changed and the code was sent to the temporary email. Okay, this is the code, so we're going to try it. Alright, I think it's working since the URL has been changed. Since the URL has been changed to the home. Alright, for now we're going to create the home component. So we're going in our front end, we're going to create a folder again, named pages. Then inside the page folder, we're going to create a file named home.jsx. Then we're going to use the shortcut key RAFCE. Then we're going to our main.jsx file to set up the home element. Okay, element home. Then we're going to import it here, I think. So import home. Okay, alright. After that, we're going back to our register.jsx. Let's try it again. Okay, first we're going to get the email address again. I'm going to paste it here to send. Then the code was sent to the temporary email. Okay, I think this is the code. First, we're going to try if there was no code. We need to get the error of please enter verification code. Okay, which is not. Okay, let's start to check why it's not showing the error that if the field is empty. So let's go back to our code. Okay. Then let's check the function. So there's no code that checks if it's empty. So let's add that. So if verification code is false or falsy, then we're going to throw a code. I mean we're going to throw an error. So verification can't be empty. Okay. Okay, then let's try it again. Okay, then get this email, then paste it here. and send code. Okay, we're just going to wait for the verification code that was sent here. Okay, then we're going to try if it's now working. Okay, verification can be empty. Let's try invalid code. Okay, now it's working. Okay, let's try again. Okay. Okay, now we're going to use the access code. Alright. So this is the server. First you need to import the Express. Then it needs to be listened to the port. Then after that, you need to create routes. Then the controllers that handles the logic. Then the user routes is for the one who handles the endpoints that you can use in actions and register. Alright, I think that's it for today and hope to see you on my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.